Casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Ready to unleash the power of 4K? Vizio's 4K TV collection has you covered, with sizes ranging from 43 inches all the way up to a jaw-dropping 86-inch screen. Experience stunning clarity like never before, bringing your favorite shows and movies to life. And with Watch-Free Plus built in, you'll enjoy free live and on-demand TV right out of the box. You can even stream your favorite songs with the iHeartRadio app, ready to go on every Vizio 4K TV. Upgrade your entertainment. Head to Walmart to find your Vizio 4K TV today.
The 2004 NASCAR Cup Series championship was won in dramatic fashion.
Well, they changed right side tires only. The entire wheel came off.
But what happened throughout the year is what makes it one of NASCAR's biggest seasons. Hear all the stories on NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History.
But he climbed up on the pit box, and someone came over and got a hold of him, and then it was on.
NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History. Listen today in the iHeartRadio app or on your favorite podcast platform.
History has made this world of ours. History is the reason I'm talking to you in English from a place called the UK, with its castles, its warm beer and cricket. It's why the United States doesn't have King Charles in its currency, but Canada does. I'm Dan Snow and I host Dan Snow's History Hit podcast. If you want to know the origin stories of the cities we inhabit, why we've always been drawn dictators, or the long history of what's going on in the Middle East, we've got you covered. Learn about the past and understand our world today. Listen to Dan Snow's History Hit wherever you get your podcasts.
He was the most hated man in America. And then Kanye came along. Thanks a lot, Kanye. The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome to Tuesday morning here on the Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. We're online at WRQK.com. Miss anything from yesterday's program, pick up the podcast at WRQK.com. Yesterday's show, last week's show, last month, last year, last decade, anything you want. It's all right there. Now, you're going to keep WRQK.com handy because at 9 a.m. you're going to head there to enter that first Rock the Bank $1,000 keyword I'm going to pass out. I'll have that for you at 9 a.m. this morning. We will make a little bit of a programming change to this morning's program. Some of you love this segment, others not so much. Welcome to being on the radio. That's true of any segment you do, but I have traditionally done Neuter Tuesday here. Now, I did not invent this segment. It goes all the way back to Wolfman Jack, and it's smash or trash, right? Like it's been a staple on radio stations literally forever. But what we do is we take 3 songs, play them, vote accordingly on them. We affectionately know that as Neuter Tuesday. Now, we are not going to do that today. There seems to be an internet issue with how certain things are getting played. I play the music for you for Neuter Tuesday without taking too much of your time, in a completely different manner than how the rest of the radio station runs. That's why the radio station sounds great, and when I go do that, it's like, oh, that doesn't sound so great. It looks like it may be an internet issue here. We're trying to get that locked down. So today, we have not yet been able to do that. We're going to punt that particular, not and punt it, but we will punt. Oh, Jesus, how much Maxwell stuff am I going to bring out today? We're going to move off that segment today at 9 o'clock.
What's that mean?
And hopefully we will be able to get that repaired for you and get you back to normal programming next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Today at 9, I'll rock the bank with you, pass out that first $1,000 keyword.
Thanks
also,
for
what we will
in.
do today at 9 is take a look at this list of things. We tried to get here yesterday, ran out of time.
Hot day, where are you guys from?
There is I went down this rabbit hole of men talking about the things their guy friends will call them gay for. Right? And I know you're not supposed to use that word. Oh my God, as a slur, as a negative, oh my God. But like we know it happens. And we know this is the way guys talk when nobody's looking. This is the way guys talk, right? We know that.
This
we
is
can
Ohio,
change the term if you want.
the United States.
What have you been called zesty for? You want to call it that? Zesty means gay. This younger generation, more tolerant than you and I, is out there creating words that mean fags. So they yell at it. But it's like, maybe you guys want to do it that way. You know what? Let's do it that. We'll get all skibbity, and at 9 o'clock, I guess we'll tell you what you've been called zesty for, and then we'll say pause like 300 times. We'll say pause. Say pause 300 times. You want to do that? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. 9 a.m. What have you been called gay for? That here on the Stansberry Show. Also at 8. Oof. Man, things going from bad to worse for Diddy. And I mean bad for Diddy. A new accuser has come forward claiming they were all of 10 years old when Diddy assaulted them sexually. There's plenty of people piling on this Diddy. We got more and more accusations coming out. And it's interesting because I see people believing these. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why didn't this 10-year-old tell anybody 15 years ago? Why didn't anybody tell anybody, right? Because that's normally how people react to these stories. But he wants Diddy to be guilty. And people believe Diddy is guilty. So it's like, yeah, we don't victim blame this time. He did it, right? Like, that's kind of where we're at with this. What was a 10-year-old has come forward now and saying, oh no, Diddy's a creep. He sexually assaulted me. Here's the story. And we'll get into those accusations. That a little bit at 8 o'clock. Also at 7 a.m. this morning, we're going to have to take a look at what is the role of a comedian. What is it? Tony Hinchcliffe, from Youngstown, Ohio, by the way, has gone viral. Now, he went viral for the Tom Brady roast because he absolutely slayed at the Tom Brady roast. He killed. He's gone viral again now because he was at the Trump Madison Square Garden rally. He had made a joke about Puerto Rico. People are losing their minds about it. I think people are taking the bait here. I really do. I think this is a mistake. And I think Jon Stewart, of all people, his reaction to it kind of tells you this is a mistake to be taking this bait here. Jon Stewart had to go on The Daily Show and remind everybody, Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian. That's what he does. He played the clip, laughed hysterically at it, and said, there's something wrong with him. I think Tony Hinchcliffe is hilarious. Which I'm sure is going to make a lot. I mean, when Jon Stewart first came back to Comedy Central, there were a lot of people who were like, this isn't the Stewart I remember. And it's like, because you only remember when he was telling you everything you liked. Jon Stewart was always kind of like, no, this is true over here, though. I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but this is true over here. Jon Stewart played the audio, laughed hysterically at it, said, I'm sorry, something must be wrong with me. I think this guy's hilarious. You know, because Jon Stewart's a comedian. You know what he said after that, don't you? Looked into the camera and said, getting mad at a roast comedian for showing up and doing roast jokes is as bad as, you know, having Beyonce show up and not sing. Oh, wait. That's what he said. And went to break. Guys, they've lost Jon Stewart. It's over. It's literally over. I mean, literally, dude, the shills are now like, yeah, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, dude, that part's bad. So we'll take a look at what Tony Hinchcliffe actually said. Is it problematic? Remind everybody what Don Rickles had said from a stage years ago, and we'll remind everybody that this is kind of the way things go here. And I think taking the bait on Tony Hinchcliffe is a losing strategy. I really do. I think it's a losing strategy. If you're gonna get hell-bent on this is who we, I'm telling you right now. First of all, he didn't say it. A comedian said it. Comedian said it. According to the reports, the joke at a comedy club 2 nights before, the night before, whatever it is, he had worked because that's what comics do. But according to the reports, he did not have clearance to say that from that podium. As a matter of fact, did you actually see the audio? He kind of gets booed. It falls flat. And he says, oh, you guys don't want that. And he goes back another jump. He literally, it fell flat in the room. And yet everybody's like, they're the worst. It's like, well, it fell flat in the room. So, like, maybe not so bad. And like I said, Jon Stewart's like, what is everybody crying about here? And I will parrot Jon Stewart's sentiment. What the hell is everybody crying about here?
The Stansberry Show.
I just keep waiting for a lotto ticket out of my boring existence.
On Rock 106.9.
My trick-or-treating time was over the weekend. Right in the middle of that Browns game. That was nuts. I still can't believe they won that game. That's crazy to me. By the way, the World Series underway. The Dodgers firmly in control, take a 3-0 lead over the Yankees last night. I gotta admit, man, the Yankees getting swept would make me happy. It would. I just, there's just something about that. I know a lot of baseball fans feel turned off by this World Series because it just feels like, well, it doesn't feel like it. It's what happened. It's like 2 massive payrolls just kind of bought their way to the top. I actually saw somebody point this out yesterday about the Yankees, and I thought it was interesting. I said, look at how bad the Yankees are when they have to play a team that they can't outspend by $200 million. And it's like, that's a pretty interesting point. Baseball does have an interesting, problem there about how they're going to, the competitive balance. Now, the Guardians don't spend any money, and they were one of the 4 teams left. The other 3 were the 3 highest spending teams in the league, from what I remember. So, that's a fair point. I think the guards there are going to have to try something. Right, you may have to try something, and maybe next year it's please try to keep Shane Bieber healthy, please, right? It's kind of one of those things. There. Also, your Cavs, 4-0 on the year, 4-0. They're off today. Lakers at home tomorrow. Probably get a good look at LeBron. I don't know if we'll see Bronny or not, but Lakers tomorrow. That at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The Cavs, 4-0 on the season. Things don't seem. 7 Super Bowl rings, so he'll mostly be fine. He's also a broadcaster now, and I believe his ownership bid has been approved for part of that Vegas Raiders franchise, from what I understand. Right? Now we find out the ex, Gisele Bündchen, is now pregnant. She had been sleeping with that with the instructor, right? With the I don't know if it's a yoga or is it what it was, but I know that was the center of the jokes at the roast were. The dumbest thing you ever did is tell her to try yoga, right? And stuff like that. It's she ended up sleeping with that, right? They had some relationship issues. They separated. They've been separated a little while now. And apparently Gisele, preggers, apparently do put a baby in it, and that was probably a smart move. You know what I mean? Gisele has a ton of money. Brady's got a ton of money. I'd be like, dude, pull the goalie. I'm putting a baby in it. For sure. Successful and so rich that you have to take him down a peg if you're going to do a roast. I got that. But he didn't necessarily look comfortable. He admitted it afterwards. It's dude, my kids were watching. There's a lot going on there. And I said, it'll be interesting to see who, steps up and does those roasts again. Tom Brady now at the center of his own controversy. This, according to a broadcast he was doing the other night for the Bills game. He apparently sparked some criticism. Sunday night, he was calling the Bills game and apparently used what they are referring to here as a sickening slur. I have not seen any real person mad about this. Not to say that there isn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. So apparently he was on the air Sunday night. That was the 8th week of the NFL season. Buffalo Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10. Brady, in that first year of that huge deal with Fox, was calling the game and started talking about Josh Allen. And again, he was accused of using a sickening slur. So I'll repeat here what he said. Quote, sometimes he played like a spaz, like a grade schooler on a sugar high. But now he's controlled the chaos. He's like a storm coming into town, and you don't want that storm coming into this town. Do you know what the slur was? Was it noticeable? Did your ears perk up when you heard it? Some of you, yes. I'm gonna guess most of you, no. The slur is spaz. That's the slur. There's a on the spectrum issue here, and this is how people have been referred to. Some people with autism issues and have been referred to as spastic, if you will, and so that's the abbreviation. And now all of a sudden you're using this. This is like using gay as a slur. It's essentially what it is. This feels like a reach to me. It really, really does. I remember when we were talking about the R word once, and I will still occasionally use that word in my life. I know a lot of you probably hate me now. I will call myself that word when I screw up. I'll do that kind of stuff. I'm not necessarily out to call anybody else in. I don't use it on the air.
I guys.
I get all that. But we were talking about it once, and I said, well, I think intent does matter. And that's
you
what
want to follow? Go ahead.
I believe, it's just my opinion. I don't get to set the rules, but my opinion is we've gotten a little lost in the sauce here about what's inappropriate, what's not. And the example I used then about the R word was this. I have family members that I love dearly who are absolutely on the spectrum. I've seen it up close, right? And like I say about anything else, when you experience something, it will change your view. Experiences change opinions. Just how it works. Walk a mile in somebody's shoes, they say. father was big into that one, right? And so people say that. There's a little bit of truth to it. And I remember saying that if you were to call somebody that word, if you were to call my family member that word, you and I are going to get into a physical altercation. That is going to happen. Not if, that's, I'm guaranteeing it. As if you point in the face, what are you, this? But I said conversely, that if I'm at the sports bar Friday night, World Series on, whatever, and the guy misses the, what is he, and a guy standing behind me going, what did he do? Dude, that's a called strike 3? What is that, umpire R-worded? I'm not going to turn around in that moment in the bar and be like, I guess. Like, there's a difference in those two things. Now, just because I said there's a difference in them doesn't mean, well, one is awesome and the other, no. No. Not saying one is great, but there's a difference in those things, and intent matters. What you're trying to say to somebody, when you're trying to hurt somebody's feelings, it's different. When you're talking about watching something on TV, like, this guy's an idiot. Like, is idiot really that far removed? And Josh Allen did play a little, with a little reckless abandon, if you will.